With the booming housing market here in the Lowcountry, new homes are being built at an astronomical pace.
But some buyers are finding serious code violations after they move in.
Inspectors with local building departments are often expected to look at and inspect dozens of new residential homes every week, posing the question if departments are too overwhelmed to catch critical mistakes.
Live 5's investigative reporter Emily Johnson uncovers the growing inspection crisis across the Tri-County and what's being missed in the rush to build.
Wait a second. I mean, this is not what we expected. We bought a new house.
They keep telling us that this house was had their inspections done, but we found missing insulation.
Everything's on the homeowner, and they don't know what all the shoddy work that's behind the scenes.
Live 5 Investigates has interviewed dozens of homeowners over the last few years who move into brand new builds and say their homes are immediately filled with code violations and problems. But when this many code violations are supposedly overlooked, how did a city or county building inspector ever sign off on the home in the first place?
I made an assumption, if I give somebody almost $600,000 for a brand new house, that house is going to be built to today's codes, right? And it wasn't. And nothing happened.
In Charleston County, 12 people inspect single-family homes, conducting a total of over 46,000 inspections last year. That means each employee would have to complete 75 inspections a week. Berkeley County has 8 people who completed almost 38,000 single-family home inspections in 2024, adding up to an average of 91 inspections a week, 18 a day per employee, sometimes using third-party companies for assistance. Two Monks Corner employees inspected almost 13,000 single-family homes in 2023, which is around 25 homes a day.
And I'm seeing approximately 50 to 80 code violations per house on 100% of the homes that we look at. Some of them get up into the hundreds of code violations.
Bob Knowles is a licensed engineer, private inspector, and CEO of the National Association of Homeowners, and says inspections are simply not being done thoroughly enough.
The building department's job is to make sure that they're checking for code compliance and enforcing the code. And I'm just not seeing that happening at all.
Jackie Rabenstein and her husband built a new home in Mount Pleasant back in 2020. On the day the couple closed on their property, they contacted Knowles to inspect their new home.
I cried. I cried all weekend. Actually, I cried for 2 years.
Knowles found 64 code violations inside the Rabensteins' new home. Improper stair threads, flammable exposed wires, damaged shingles, and missing framing.
I would take the dogs for a walk and just stand in front of a house with my mouth open like, how is this allowed?
And a city inspector had signed off on the property's final inspection just days before.
You can't imagine that happening. It's incomprehensible that in 2020 that there aren't building codes and there aren't building inspectors. And I will tell you that they're not doing their job.
More and more people are moving to South Carolina in hopes of calling the Lowcountry home. But at what point is the demand to inspect new builds physically impossible for local building departments?
The building departments have way too many houses that they're tasked with looking at.
Some areas, like the city of Hanahan, use a third-party company to help conduct inspections when the volume is simply too high. If Hanahan did not receive any help from an outside agency, the city's one inspector would have completed almost 2,000 inspections last year, all on their own.
We need enough inspectors so they can spend all the time they need to actually inspect and look at the whole house thoroughly.
We asked multiple city and county building departments to speak with us for this investigation, but none agreed to sit down. Individual building departments can decide to hand builders fees or violations in an effort to reduce repetitive code violations. Knowles says the way Miami, Florida holds builders accountable is a model that South Carolina should follow. Just this year, the builders of a new Miami condominium hotel agreed to pay the city over $6 million in outstanding fines, unpaid utility bills, and code violations.
Other municipalities around the country, when they do that, the builders are much, much better at quality and building to code, complying with the code.
But here in the Lowcountry, 2024 records showed over a 5-year period, only 3 citations were issued out of 220,000 newly built Tri-County homes. Without reform or reinforcements, local building departments may remain overwhelmed and homeowners left with countless code violations.
Critical that we work with the existing system, which is we have building departments that are tasked with protecting the public safety. And when we live in a home, it needs to be safe, it needs to be code compliant.
For Live 5 Investigates, I'm Emily Johnson.